How many people are in your crew?
Anywhere from 2 to 4.
Oh, so you have a little crew.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Same thing.
2 to 4?
2 to 4.
From 1 to 5. Shoot a lot of them by myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I didn't really realize you had multiple people on.
Well, I used to do solo weddings, but it's just my vision can't be created with one person because I need someone else to get those second angles.
Yeah.
You know, if we're doing toasts and I need the over-shoulder shots both ways, or if I'm, doing the vows and I do it the same way, I can't run back and forth between all my cameras. It's not possible.
You're saying, I just can't do this with 2 cameras.
I can't. No,
I'm out.
I have to be happy with it myself, because if I'm putting something out that I don't believe in, why do it?
No, I'm with you. I wouldn't want to do anything with. I have 6 cameras here. I don't like working with very few cameras either, but because there is those other angles that will really make it. That's what gives you that. Your brain tunes in and says, "Ooh, this is a movie now." I mean, when 24p came around, it did something to your brain where you looked at it and your brain said, "Oh, this doesn't feel like news. This feels like a movie." The same thing with it. Widen the aspect ratio now. All these things. I look at people's stuff on the internet and it's just like, wow, this feels like a movie.
And with that, I think the hard part then comes in is finding shooters that are great that can help explore your vision, whether they've come out from film school or whether they've been in news, and they go, "Oh yeah, I can shoot a wedding." You bring them out on a job and it's like Blair Witch, like for the whole wedding, and they go, "Oh, but it's a wedding. I can shoot it that way. It's okay that I shoot it like crap."
Or a shooter who shoots great 4 or 5 weddings in a row and then brings you back one like, "What were you thinking?"
Exactly. And you sent them solo on a job. Yeah, that's fun.
Again, that gets back to that perception that you start off shooting a wedding.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking, we're shooting a wedding, we got cameras in 3 different balconies, and when the bride reaches the front, they turn off the lights in the balconies, which shut off the electrical outlets that were powering the cameras. And we're on headsets like, "Oh my gosh, what do we do?" Okay, you run to camera 2, I'm running to the truck. Client never knew, but just that.
And I had that lesson taught to me once. Cameras are always on battery.
This was early on. We had one 100-pound top-loading 3/4 inch deck and 2 3/4 inch portables. So it was a 4800.
Yeah.
Which you can't go an hour and a half on a battery.
No, I know. The batteries aren't like they are now, where you throw a brick on and it's 4 hours.
We had the batteries to do it, but they were in the truck.
Yes. Oh boy. I mean, that's kind of a fun thing to talk about. The lesson that you got learned so hard that you're going to share with somebody else so they don't have to make that mistake.
I've made a lot of mistakes. Yeah. You make mistakes every wedding, but luckily in the editing process you can fix everything. You can edit around and make things happen.
When you said lessons that schooled you, the first thought that came to mind were things that schooled me on the value of what we really do. I remember videotaping this wedding, 3rd final child to get married, and Mom was ecstatic that her children had all married well. She was actually dancing on chairs during the wedding, and she saw the video camera and she names all her family members, tells them she loves them right into the camera. And she passed away 2 weeks later. And the groom called me and he says, "I guess I don't have to tell you, this will be the most important thing we ever own in our life." And that's what I thought of when you said something that schooled you. And there's 2 more that jumped in my head. I'll tell them really fast. One, this bride grew up in church listening to her dad sing in church every Sunday. He sang at the wedding, and he passed away several years later. And she called me saying, "All the years I listened to my dad sing, it was never recorded. The only recording we have is the one that you made." She goes, "That's our most prized possession." But there's this other bride. They called after the wedding, they had split up. They never shot the love story that we were going to do. They were at odds with each other at the rehearsal, the wedding, and the wedding's off. "I know I owe you money, but we're not going to pick it up." And then she calls me 2 months later and she says, "Hey, I just discovered we're expecting. We're going to try it again, and we want to go ahead and film that love story about documenting how we met." And okay, come on in. And I know the guy, he's all guy, he's kind of tough and he doesn't express emotion. And I interviewed him separately and I said, "So tell me how you feel about this woman." And he said some of the most incredible things that he had never ever told her, but he told me because I was asking. And I got the coolest letter from this bride claiming that the wedding movie saved her marriage. And that one's framed hanging in my office.
Wow.
That's a pretty cool thing to happen.
You really love what you're doing there. You can sense it.
It's the best job on the planet. I can give people time travel. How cool is that? They say when you fall in love, you're always in love. Like, we'll love our spouses till the day we die. But sometimes it's hard to get back to where you started. But if I can catch the groom's expression in his eyes when he sees the bride walk down the aisle, if I can hear the inflection in the voice and then I can cause them to feel that way again. They say the feelings from a wedding day are once in a lifetime. I say, what if they're not? So yeah, it's a cool way to make a living. I get to have nice dinners at receptions every weekend. I get to meet interesting people. But I think I have a job that makes a difference.
That's great. That's really nice. How about you? You feel the same way?
I totally do. I do get those calls where a grandfather has passed away and that was the last time that he was recorded. I think that that's one of the reasons why I promote so much that you should always have a big important life event documented and have it done professionally. But what I love is that we're really creating these heirloom pieces. For my clients, I tell them it's not so much for them as it is for their children or for their families. Their kids are the ones that are really going to watch it. I mean, it's like, you think about it, it's like, do you have an old Super 8 of your parents?
I do, actually.
Yeah. And
how much do you want for it?
Yeah.
No, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Give me a price. I'll buy it.
No, my grandfather was like me, very into tech and all this stuff. I have this thing that I have on YouTube and I show it to people all the time, which is this whole color footage from 1939. So that's like when The Wizard of Oz came out in '39. He shot 16. My mother's got red hair, so it's like, you can see it right away. It was all on 16, gorgeous film. And he happened to come to Chicago on a trip, and he held the camera out the window and was driving down Michigan Avenue, up Lakeshore Drive. And I've given it to our local PBS. They're like, oh my God, this is just like,
wow.
Pretty amazing stuff. So yes, I do have some footage like that. And my folks had their wedding shot in 3D slides. That was kind of big in the 50s. So
awesome.
You had to get all this from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my whole family is steeped in film, video, everything.
A lot of times clients are deciding whether to invest the money in a wedding movie.
Right.
People like movies, we just don't like bad ones. If you go to a movie and it's bad, you'll get up and walk out. But if it's good, you'll go back and see it a second time and you'll buy the DVD when it comes out. And it's the same way with their wedding movie. If we produce a good movie, they're going to love it. And I remember this one bride goes, well, I'm just not sure I would like it or want it. I said, well, imagine if you had a movie of your parents' or grandparents' wedding. Oh, we have an 8mm of our grandparents' wedding. I go, well, let me get my checkbook, I'll buy it from you. She goes, what? No, really, I want one, I'll buy it from you. And she goes, I won't sell that, that's the most important thing our family owns. And I just kind of sat there and looked at her and she goes, oh, now I get it.
You brought up an interesting point. There's something about the raw footage. You watch that, it's powerful, but it's not like when we start editing it. And you put a little bit of music in there and you start doing your thing, and that's when it really turns into.
Story is king. You can have the worst footage, but if it's entertaining and it can keep your attention, you're going to keep watching it, especially if it's something of your own day. So imagine if you take good camera work and then you put that story with it. It's just, it's an amazing production. You can shoot the best wedding ever, and if the editing's bad, no one's going to want to watch it.
Right, nobody will.
Storytelling's huge, and I know with what I do, it's a 20 to 30 minute film is what they get. It seamlessly just goes through the day, and it interacts with the couple, their personalities. And really, when you watch it, you can't stop because it's just entertaining. It has every emotion. You have funny stuff, romantic sections. It takes you through all the moods.
When I saw that one piece, I keep thinking of that one piece that I saw that you did, the one that really
was the trailer, so that was only like a minute.
That's the thing that got me hooked. Yeah, I really liked that. It was one at that beautiful fancy place that I've seen you do a bunch of things at Austin. Somehow the dialogue made me feel like it was an actual movie.
You have to get those audio bites and you have to place them in the right areas to make it fit and to make the story. Every couple's different, and when you get those sound bites and you get the different individual stories from each section, like if it's it's all about the bride that day, or if it's about the bride's mother's been waiting for that day, or whatever it is, you pull those elements together and it's powerful.